Hey everybody, and welcome to my N5 series in the SP404 Mark II, where I cover a topic in about 5 minutes. This is session 12.2, and today I wanted to cover some of the things you can do with your SP404 Mark II to control your SP202. So last session we kind of went over some of the sounds. I would say you could definitely get some unique sounds out of the 202, and the nice thing that you can do with the Mark II that you can add to a 202, because the 202 does not have it, is you can sequence the 202. There are some constraints to it, but I definitely can show you that. For example, I can play these pads, and you can see the pads lighting up on the 202. So you can actually, if you know what you're kind of doing or paying attention, you can use the 404 to sequence the 202. And in fact, I mean, you have to do kind of the hack that we had before if you wanted to be able to record the sequence of the pattern, which is just record blank noise. You just need like an empty pad here. Now I can record this. So if I just go copy here, I guess I might as well just do this. I should have done it earlier, but if you saw my MIDI thing, you will appreciate that this isn't like that bad, but it is time consuming. Now, a few things to know about the 202. That you can actually set the MIDI channel. This one's set to MIDI channel 1. If you want to change the MIDI channel to something else, you have to turn off the power. And before you power it on, if you hold pad 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8, whichever one you hold down, it will associate the MIDI channel to that pad number, which so we just created pad bank 1, which is associated with MIDI channel 1. So if I hit any of these pads, it will send a note to MIDI channel 1, which is how the 202 is accepting that. I'm going to actually switch it to 16, and to do that, to get into MIDI channels 9 through 16, you hold the hold button down, and you hold down pads 1 to assign to MIDI channel 9 through 8, which will assign to 16. So basically, this is just adding +8 to whatever pad you hold down. So if I hold the hold button and pad 8 and power it on, you'll see 16. It is now assigned to MIDI channel 16. And the interesting thing I want to show you here is if I now go into chromatic mode, this chromatic mode sends notes on channel 16. Unfortunately, you can't record anything to the chromatic mode like pattern or track or anything. So this is only useful if you want to trigger things over here, but it does allow you to trigger, with the lowest setting, all the way up to pad bank, or from pad bank A and B. So that covers all those. If I scroll all the way up, it will then be bank B. Then we get into C.
It's brutal.
Yeah,
it's brutal.
It's brutal. So this will get you through C here, and then this pad gets you to D1. There is a problem though. I cannot go any further, so I can't get to D2, 3, 4, or 5, 6, 7, 8 with chromatic mode. So if you're in chromatic mode, this is going to be the way that you're going to access the most MIDI notes, which will be pads on the 202 pad A1 through D1. You just can't get those last 7. I know that the memory cards are ridiculously expensive, so people probably are just going to ignore banks C and D in most cases anyway. And if you're ignoring them, then you are best off to just use MIDI channel 1 through 10 to sequence your 202. And again, I'm just turned it off. I'm going to hold pad 1, and I will turn it back on to assign to MIDI channel 1. Now, once it's back up, I can now take a pattern, record in here. Doesn't matter, just do this, but if If you're wondering why you aren't hearing anything, but the light is blinking, it's because when I went into record mode, it turned external source off. So if I turn that back, I don't want it on over here too. So you can hear, I just kind of tapped out a pattern. I can add more if I want. Now I just turned for pad 6. Oh, it must be pad 8. And I can even get like the drums in here if I want. So there you go. Not the best track here, but I mean, sounds okay. Anyway, I hope that guys shows you guys, you know, there is, I think, some interesting things you can do here with the SP-202 and the Mark II, with the Mark II kind of controlling the 202 for being able to do some pattern sequencing. Obviously, we've covered sampling tons of times. I would say, you know, even just, you can get some interesting results sampling into the SP-202 and then using that to kind of bring samples over to your 404 Mark II. You know, pitch is super fun. I really do like both the non-resonant and resonant filter. I think they're both good effects. So I'd say, you know, if you've got a 202, check it out, do some recording, sample some stuff in. You'll get some good sounds and have some more fodder to kind of play with. If you don't have a 202, you know, I don't know that you're missing out that much. The Mark II does have a lot of good effects in it, and I would say, you know, learn what you got there first and kind of see if the 202 is something you want to get into. Anyway, I guess that's it for today, guys. You know, keep making tracks and having fun. Peace.